Martin Luther King Jr. always reminded us that faith begins with the first step. You do not need to see the entire staircase, you only need the courage to climb the first step. This teaching carries a simple and powerful truth. We often become paralyzed waiting for complete certainty, but life never offers guarantees. He also said that an honest man can be deceived, but he can never be made a fool. The fool is the one who does not learn, who does not observe, who does not value his own conscience. Mistakes are not signs of weakness, but proof that we are trying. King's wisdom invites us to accept the past, bury it with dignity, but keep the lessons it brings. Each new day is an opportunity to start over, to write a new chapter, and to believe that, even in the face of difficulties, there is always one more step to climb. There is a deep difference between knowing and understanding. Many may know your name, but few truly understand who you are. Martin Luther King Jr. showed us that this is the essence of human relationships, seeking empathy above superficiality. He said that a bad chapter does not mean the story is over. Just like a book, life has highs and lows, but each page brings a unique lesson. For him, living without purpose was wasting not only time but life itself. Doing what you love is not a luxury. It is a necessity to find fulfillment. King always reminded us that we cannot change the past, but we do have the power to begin again with hope. True understanding goes beyond reason. It is about feeling, about placing yourself in someone else's shoes, and this transforms both those who understand and those who are understood. According to King, we are shaped by our thoughts and become what we believe. That is why he called us to train the mind to see the good in every situation. The pains we face are actually disguised teachers, teaching lessons that only adversity can reveal. The greatest gift in life is not wealth, but an honest and true friend. He also reminded us that the best revenge is not to resemble the enemy, but to rise above him through personal transformation. Our greatest battles are not external, but fought within the mind. An undisciplined mind acts as an enemy, while a disciplined mind becomes our greatest ally. The right time, patience, and discipline were virtues King believed shaped not only individuals but entire societies, and he always reminded us that character and the goodness of a heart never grow old. Martin Luther King Jr. valued forgiveness as an essential part of life. He advised that before going to bed, we should forgive everyone so that the heart may rest in peace. This practice, simple but powerful, frees the soul from the weight of resentment. He also said that true love must turn to the soul, not to appearances that quickly fade. Forgiveness and inner discipline are powerful weapons against the darkness of the mind. The problem is not the problem, he said, but how we react to it. This phrase sums up the essence of resilience. Controlling the mind, staying calm in the storm, and trusting in time are the pillars of a full life. For King, we must never give up, because even the hardest days carry the promise of a rising sun. True greatness is improving yourself without needing to prove anything to anyone. King said that truth can be hidden, but it can never be destroyed. Sooner or later, it always comes to light. That is why he advised silence and observation instead of empty arguments. Never argue with a fool, he reminded, because then there will be two. He believed that every challenge is an opportunity for growth, because it is in difficulty that we become stronger. He also said we should not rush events, because everything has its own time to bloom. The secret is to cultivate patience and courage. For him, the beginning of any journey is always the hardest, but perseverance opens doors that haste keeps closed. Above all, King preached honesty as the foundation of trust. Being honest not only builds strong relationships, but also strengthens dignity itself. Truth may take time, but it always prevails. According to King, character is what remains when beauty and youth fade. The face ages, the body changes, but a good heart remains good forever. He reinforced that respect must be earned, honesty must be valued, trust must be built, and loyalty must be returned. He also said that life is not divided into good or bad. Life simply is, and it is up to each of us to make it worthwhile. Often, people hurt us and still act as if they are the victims. At such times, King advised not to cling to resentment, but to transform pain into wisdom. He reminded us that maturity is learning to walk away from anything that threatens peace, respect, and dignity. Life may be harsh, but with solid values and strong character, it is always possible to build something great. Martin Luther King Jr. believed that success does not come from luck, but from continuous effort. He said, "Do not live in luck, live in hard work." Work gives dignity and builds the true foundations of life. For him, Giving up was not an option. When fatigue arrives, we must learn to rest but never to quit. He also reminded us to look for the gold in people, not the dirt. Every human being carries something valuable, and wisdom lies in seeing it. Silence, he said, is often the best answer. Observing more and speaking less creates space for understanding. He also affirmed that we must learn to appreciate solitude, because no one will remain with us forever. Hope is born when we train the mind to see the good, even in the greatest difficulties. King preached that we are responsible for our own happiness. We cannot expect others to bring what only we can build. True change begins when we change our minds. If we help expecting something in return, we are not practicing kindness but doing business. He also said that the best way to avoid disappointment is to not create excessive expectations about others. Many of our problems are born from misdirected thoughts, and for this reason, we must cultivate mental clarity. For him, the greatest act of maturity is learning to walk away from anything that destroys inner peace. Each of us creates our own story and must take responsibility for it. As he reminded us, you are the problem, and you are also the solution. This awareness gives us the power to transform not only our own lives, but also the world around us. King said we should not try to control the storm, but control ourselves. When we are at peace, the storm loses strength, and time brings clarity. He reminded us that everything happens in its proper moment. Rushing steals the beauty of the process. The secret is to trust time and never give up. He himself said that today may be hard, tomorrow even harder, but the day after tomorrow always brings sunshine. This phrase carried his unshakable hope that the future holds something better. King also taught that we should never lie to someone who trusts us, and never trust someone who lies to us. Trust is fragile, but it is the foundation of every true relationship. For this reason, he reinforced that patience, honesty, and courage are eternal virtues. In the end, Martin Luther King Jr. believed that three things matter above all: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of what was not meant for you. He reminded us that if you find yourself in the wrong story, you can always leave and write a new one. People may hurt you, but you must not lose your essence because of it. The greatest legacy is not power, but love, morals, and intelligence. He also affirmed that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. The same light he kept alive in his speeches, in his struggle, and in his heart. The time is always right to do what is right, and it is never too late to begin again. King's legacy is eternal, because it is made of love, courage, and truth.